Okay, hello, and welcome back to my channel, everyone. I know I have disappeared over the course of the last month, but life sort of got in the way. I'm back to you. 2020 is a brand new start for me, and we're going to do a new video right now. We're going to make a memory keeping box for 2020. So the idea behind this box is that each one of these little books is going to hold a quarter of the year, and each spread inside of the little books is going to hold sort of memories from the week. So it could be journaling, it could be pictures, it could be little bits and bobs from whatever you've collected over the week. It doesn't have to be anything. So I'm going to run through a few of the supplies here. I'm going to be using medium weight chipboard. I'm going to be using the Primrose pack that you see on the screen right now. I link all of this stuff in my Amazon shop, so everything here will have its own little list, so you can go through and pick out each of the little items individually. So rather than saying that 100 times over, everything is in a consolidated list. It's going to be called the 2020 Memory Keeper list over on my Amazon page, and that link is going to be down in the description box below. So you're going to have to excuse a couple of things during this sort of voiceover and this video. This was done live on stream. If you have not checked out our Twitch channel, go ahead and check that out. We are live 4 days a week over there, and I did this in 2 sessions. It took about eight and a half hours from start to finish, but that is with me taking a lot of breaks, trying to figure it out as I go, and yeah, talking to the chat the entire time. So I have condensed it down for you. I'm using this post office envelope to reinforce the spines of my books. And that's what you're seeing on screen now. So I'm going to go ahead and start walking you through the process of making these books. They are 5x7 books. They're going to be sort of curved at the spine. They're not going to have a hard spine on them, and that's what this Tyvek material from the postage envelope is going to act as support for. So this is me trying to figure it out. Each of these chipboard pieces are 5 inches by 7 inches, and I am currently using an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper on screen, and then I'm switching over to cardstocks by the Paper Studio, which is 12 by 12. This is going to allow me to wrap the chipboard so that none of the hard edges show. So I'm trying to work that out as I go. This idea came to me the night before I started streaming this, and so I was not prepped, I was not prepared, I didn't know how I was going to do this, so we're sort of winging this process. I'm popping this, I think it's a 2-inch by 7-inch piece of Tyvek that I cut from that envelope down in the center. I am placing the chipboard where I want it. I'm giving about a 3/4 of an inch for a spine. And in this one, I'm actually going ahead and covering up the Tyvek. You will not see me do this in any of the other journals. This made the cover a little bit too thick, so I'm going to have to go back, and I had to go back and sort of fix this. It also didn't cover up the inside edge of that chipboard. So in the next several books, there are 4 total, you're not going to see that happen. You'll see the Tyvek showing through at first, and then us wrapping it later. But I'm going ahead and I'm going to put my chipboard down in place where I want it. So about an inch away from the top and the bottom of my 12 by 12 paper. And then it's got about 1/2 inch on either side and 3/4 of an inch in the middle. And I'm putting that down. I'm waiting for it to dry. I'm going to notch all of the edges just to keep the bulk out of the corners. So I'm going to go in and do that. And then I'm going to use my score tape to get in here and really make sure that everything gets tacked down. I'm prepping the fold just to make sure that everything folds over smoothly, and then I am taping it down. So there's one of those little things from Twitch that I said you might have to watch out for. It's okay. So those will pop up here and there, but I can only edit out so many of them without losing the actual footage. So there we have all the tape, and now we're going to go in and fold the 2 sides over, and then the top and the bottom over. I'm getting my little trash bin ready, and here we go. So like I said, this just makes sure that there are no harsh edges. You don't have to wrap your book if you like a more rustic kind of look and feel. I'm wrapping mine to get those hard edges of the chipboard off of the actual thing. Here's me showing something that Wendy made, so I guess I forgot to edit that out. It's okay. So she made a leather journal, by the way. I will link her channel down below. Her name is Crazy Poppins here on YouTube, and she does all kinds of fun projects as well, so you'll have to check her out. So here I am making sure it folds over good, and I'm realizing that those edges are not going to be covered up when we mat the paper. So I'm sitting here talking about how we may have to cover that up. I'm picking out my paper, and we're going to come back and start cutting these out. So the mats for these pages are going to be 1/4 of an inch shorter than the book itself. So they will be 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to cut those out real quick. And here again, I'm noticing that those are just not going to work for me. That is not going to pass. So I'm going to add this piece in on top and cover those edges up. Like I said, this was a mistake that I made because I didn't really prep ahead of time. So I won't make that mistake in the next 3 journals. Like I said, there are 4 total. We'll have a 7-page signature in each one of them, and so there are plenty there for all 52 weeks of the year. And the idea is to go in 1 spread per week. You can decorate the front page and the back page however you like, and then you have 52 spreads inside, so you have 1 spread a week that you can add absolutely anything to. I'm going to be adding parchment paper in my book itself, so it's just a blank canvas for me to work on. You could add dot grid paper in there. You could add just plain white paper in there if you don't want this distressed vintagey kind of look. I just happen to love that look personally. It really suits my style, so that's what I'm going with. I'm going to go ahead and start matting the inside cover now, but I'm going to quickly realize that I really should have inked the edges with my distress ink. So I am going to debate on that for half a second, and then I'm going to distress the rest of the edges. Yeah, so this is me trying to figure that out, and I figure out really quickly that I definitely want that done. I will get my distress ink out. This is the Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink, and I'm going to sort of get the edges of the one that I've already matted down, and then I will actually distress the edges of each and every other sheet before I glue them down, which would be the proper order to go in there. Now we're going to move on to the front cover of this book, and this one I didn't really fold in the way that I wanted to, so you're going to see me fiddle with that several times. The rest of them are going to go smoothly once I had everything figured out with that trial and error first book. We had it taken care of at that point, and I knew what I was doing. So the books 2, 3, and 4 definitely went a lot smoother and definitely went a lot faster. This one would have gone just as fast as the next 3 had I actually, sat down to prep in the meantime. So we're going to take care of the front cover on this one as well. I'm trying to figure out if there's a direction to these flowers. It turns out there's not, so I'm going to pop both of the mats for the front and the back on, and then we're going to move on to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th books. So I am going to let the music take over while you watch me put those together. Like I said, they go a lot faster. And yeah, then I will talk to you about the inside pages when we go to do those. Okay, so we are going to now move on to the inside of the book, and I'm using this parchment paper that is 7 inches by 10 inches. I pick it up from Hobby Lobby constantly over in the pen and ink section, so this is what I'm using. I'm taking 7 sheets, I'm folding each of them in half, and they're going to fit perfectly inside the actual cover of the book. If you don't want any overhang, you can trim these down about a quarter of an inch on both sides, length and width, and it would sit inside just a little bit neater, but I like that overhang. So here I am working on the actual binding itself. We thought instead of sewing it in, we would go in with some ribbon, and I'm just going through the different ribbon options that I have with the people in my chat, and we're deciding on this brown ribbon. Turns out I have just enough for 4 books, which was perfect. I'm sure I picked this up at Hobby Lobby as well in a scrap bundle, and I'm going to go in here, I'm going to cut those 4 pieces, and I'm going to decide that the lace is going to go on the spine of the book, so you're going to see me do that as well. I have this punch, but I'm not going to use it. Instead, I'm going to go through with my big boy sort of crocodile, the disc version of it, and I'm going to punch holes an inch and a quarter in on all sides. So I'm going to fit this, I'm going to glue it to the spine. It'll be a nice little decorative element, and then I'm going to start punching holes and inserting my signatures. So here we go with the gluing it down, getting it trimmed up. I thought for a second that I could just do the inside and not worry about the outside, but yeah, I went ahead and reinforced the outside as well so that that ribbon does not move. I do try to poke a hole in this with the awl, but it's just not going to work, so I do move to the crocodile instead, which you will see it sort of cut to that as well. This went fine for the paper, but the cover is just too much for that to actually happen with the little tool here and the awl. It's just too thick. Even just being paper and Tyvek, when the ribbon got added, it just made it too much to handle. But that big boy, the crocodile thing, the tabletop one, is just a lifesaver in this. It made it so much easier. Again, with this being the first one of these that I am putting together, it was a little bit of trial and error, but the remaining 3 will go really, really quickly. So I'm about an inch and a quarter, like I said, in on all sides, or on the top and the bottom, and I'm going to find a needle that I can thread that ribbon through, and I'm going to thread that and tie it on the outside of each of the 4 books. And after this first little process is over and this trial and error has sort of passed at this point, and I start using this big boy, the actual construction of these books went really, really quickly. So I'm going to let you go now from this voiceover. I want to thank you so much for bearing with me over the course of December. I want to thank my patrons who are an absolute godsend. They support me each and every month, and it's just been a lifesaver to have them. So if you're unfamiliar, we have all kinds of line work and goodies that go out every single month for all of my patrons. The link is always down below. You can subscribe and get special things just for $1, including a brand new dragon, Harry Potter dragon sort of line work that we went and designed in a stream as well. Again, don't forget to check out Twitch. We are there 5 times a week, 4 days a week. So we're there Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and we were also there for our worker bees on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So there is a night stream in the mix for everybody who works during the week and during the day. It's a lot of fun. You get to see the stuff live and be a part of the action, help me design new characters and creatures, and it is absolutely a blast. So check out our Twitch channel as well. Alright, I'm definitely going to let you go now. The second part of this video will be us putting together the box, or the second video in this little series is going to be us putting together the box that all of these little books are going to sit in. I had to split it into 2 videos because they're both about 30 minutes long at this point, so it was either one 1-hour video or 2 30-minute videos, and I figured I would just separate it into books and the box itself. The end product came out gorgeous, and you will get to see the box before we make it in the next video at the end of this video. I want to thank you again so much. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it at all helpful, and let me know if you wing your projects down in the comments, or if you plan them all out ahead of time, or maybe if you just get excited about a project and go all in from the start without any plan in mind, because that's exactly what I did here, and I'm so happy that I did. Alright, I love your faces. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Now I just want to give a quick shout out and thank you to each and every one of my patrons. Without you, I would not be able to do this for a living. So thank you so much for your support. If you would like exclusive coloring pages, prints, creature cards, and all kinds of fun line work, then check out the Patreon link in the description box below.